hands in my hands.
Hello and welcome back to Voices with the You Run podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Angel.
And today we're talking about a horror movie that spends its time on a Zoom call
Yeah, and may I say, you are killing it with these little intro things. So good. They're so good.
I kind of like them because I found it's kind of like a hook. You play it and people go, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the numbers are going up because at the time we are recording this, even though this is now the 1st of November, at the time we're recording this, our YouTube channel hasn't relaunched yet. So I have no idea how we're doing. So I'm going to say it now. We're doing really, really well. And we've had great likes, great comments, and we've grown this massive community.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll manifest it.
Yeah. If you now go check our subscriber count, we have at least 2,500 subscribers and we are flying.
Yes.
We are talking about the found footage movie Host. We're going to start this with a score and then go from there. Where are you scoring this?
Host is a 9 out of 10 for me. It's one of my favorite found footage movies.
Okay. This could be a difficult conversation. This is a 4 out of 5 for me.
What? Oh, I forgot you do out of 5.
Yeah, this is exceptional and so clever on so many levels that I didn't expect it to be clever on, even down to the fact that they have a time limit on their Zoom call because they're too tight to pay for a subscription.
Yeah, so they get 40, whatever it is. It's just under an hour. And so you get story until the Zoom call ends. It's brilliant. I wish, this is my only comment I'm going to make about this. I wish this had been carried into the other film that Judge Shepard did, but unfortunately it was not. So this was brilliant. And it was the first full-length film filmed entirely in quarantine.
Did you say there's another film?
Not connected to Host, but Judge Shepard did Dash Cam.
Which the less said about that movie and the horrible casting of that movie, the better.
Yeah, he definitely gave someone a platform that didn't deserve one, and it has deeply crippled my respect for him and future projects. But this was brilliant, and this was really well done.
Yeah, and it's such a believable thing because of when it was released.
Yes.
Anyone who's not seen Host, if you go and watch Host, I don't want you to put yourself back into the mindset of when you were in lockdown and this was the only way you could communicate with people. Mm-hmm. And we were all doing cool things, like we were having parties and we were having like catch-up calls. Instead of going to the pub to see people, you've done it over Zoom. And this is that. Yeah. But with a twist, because the seance, they're doing a seance with a seance lady who needs better Wi-Fi.
Yeah, this really does put you back into the mindset of what it was like. Because I watched this when it first came out. So we were still in those times when this came out. So, or not long after, like right around the ending of it, before people started going back to work and stuff. And it really did capture that really, really well. I mean, he nailed the timing on this, because like the timing for when this was done and the way, like, the story is told was so specific to 2020 and the beginning of 2021, and it's perfect. But yeah, the seance lady does have really bad Wi-Fi, and she is not as helpful as she should have been.
No, and like the second you realize that they're all on the call, and the second you realize they're doing the seance, like instantly as a viewer, you're like, well, this is not a good idea. And even the seance lady says, I've never done one of these before over Zoom, but I guess it'll work. What? No.
I think I think the part of that worked so well for me because like I don't believe in a lot of stuff, but some stuff that I don't believe in, I respect enough to not test, if that makes sense. Like I'm just like just in case I'm wrong. And so you've got Gemma who is just fucking about. She's like just having a laugh, just playing around, and
Gemma's me.
inadvertently just wrecks everyone's life.
Like when I watch this and they do the bit where Gemma's like, "Oh, it's a young boy." She tells this story.
Oh my God. Yeah.
In this scenario, that is 100% me because I want to test the medium. I'm talking out my ass to see what she says. And it turns out when you do that, you give a mask into the world that a demon can wear. So
Yeah, and then you allow something else to come through under the guise of what you're doing. And it's like, and that moment, man, when the psychic or whatever is like, well, what about that friend, that you were talking about? And they're all just like, yeah, Gemma, what about your friend? Like they all have these like facial expressions of like, you bitch. And then the psychic is like, oh no, what have you done? And then you're just instantly like, oh no, what did she do? Like it's so good. That story piece is so good.
the
I love it.
psychic is one sentence away from going, "Oh, you fucked up."
Yeah, she is. Her entire demeanor shifts, and she's like, "I gotta, like, I can't. Y'all are screwed. Like, I cannot."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have fun with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
See
go now.
ya.
Oh,
See ya on the re-
my Wi-Fi's going again. Bye. Um, what's your favorite scene in this? Because it's a very difficult
Okay.
movie to discuss because it's very contained to like it's like me and Angel telling that like me and Angel doing the movie and all you can see is what you have here. So
Mhm.
having it doesn't have any big like really blown scenes. They're all shot from a very odd perspective, but it's got some great ones.
Okay. If I have to, if I have to pick a favorite, it's probably the keyboard scene, where that girl has the fake screen up of her moving around, and they're like, "Oh wait, that's that thing that she put up earlier." And then her face just comes flying forward and hits the keyboard, because like the keyboard faces hitting keyboards has happened in a ton of movies. That's nothing. But the way that setup was, because I don't know that I would have thought that's immediately what it was going to do, but I recognized that wasn't really her. I was like, oh, that's that thing that she put up. And I was like, that is not good. And then it's just by the time you connect it and then they connect it, it's like, bam, and her face just like flies forward. It was so good. My honorary mention would be when they see the feet in the attic.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Woo! I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing no attics. Like, never.
the thing is when she goes to the attic and she's like even she goes, yeah, that's not happening. It's phone on a selfie stick and up the hole.
Yes, yes, yes,
Like
yes.
all of that, like everything in this is really clever how they do that. And the thing that I find so intriguing about this movie is you've got their friend, the guy friend who's in some posh house with
Somewhere else,
his
yeah.
girlfriend. And he pops on at the beginning of the call and he's like, anyway, I'm gonna let you all do your seance. Woo, have fun. And then when he comes back onto the call, he's come back onto like the nastiest timeline of a Zoom call ever. And he's like, what's going on? They're like, she's dead.
And
What? And he's
and
so like, what? What are you going on about? And like the scenes in his home, like
oh,
where
those were good.
he's attacked, like that's cool. I think that's really good. And you get him like fumbling through his garage, bouncing into loads of stuff. But the
Yeah.
scene with his girlfriend where she's pulled off the side, lifted above the pool, her neck snapped, and then she's dropped into the
Dropped.
water. That is
So good.
fantastic.
Yeah. It's really, really good. I'd like all of that set up with him too. The fire, the music box, like all that stuff was really, really good. I think that like, and it's hard to pick. Like, I think everybody's demise is just so well done. Like, They even made that concept where the Snapchat filter or the fake filters show something else. That's been done a million times, but I really liked it with that one girl. Like, I thought that was really well done too. And then I forget the other girl's name, the one that had the boyfriend where she was at odds, and
Yeah.
he's like missing. They don't know where he is, and all of a sudden, like, that whole thing, like the kills and stuff, the scares in this are, for this to be filmed the way that it was during the time that it was, is just, it's so brilliant. Like, it's so well done. So well done.
Really well done. And the special effects like slash stunt team they had for this, because it was filmed during lockdown, and they had a very limited budget to make this movie.
Yeah.
Like when you pitch a movie of, we're making a movie on a Zoom call, the money they give you to make that is not very much. They kind of go, if you can have that, I guess.
Yeah.
So what they'd done is, when they spoke to their stunt coordinators, the stunt team went, "What do you want?" And they turned around and said, "What can you do for this much money?" And I saw an interview with the owner of the stunt company they use. He's like, "I've been doing this for so many years, and all the time I've done it, I've never had someone come to us and say, 'What can you do? What can you make work?'" He said, and for us, he said, after that, like, budget wasn't a problem. We didn't care what they had. Because for me, as the owner of this company, this was like, this is showcase time. Like, we can do whatever we want to do, and we'll pitch it
That's
to,
cool.
like, that's amazing. And like the stunt where you see the guy drop down to the floor, like, behind her, they actually built a stunt rig in the apartment.
Okay.
And basically the stunt rig works where it would lift him up, and then after 3 seconds it would drop him, and it would stop him like this far from the floor. And then they put all the sounds in afterwards. Also, when you see, like, that stunt didn't happen in real time with the girl there.
Right.
So they had the girl filming that scene, and then they put that on. So how we can add filters and things, like we can add video filters and
Oh yeah.
and things like, we can add things like this. So they done that to her Zoom call and dropped this footage in behind her, so she saw it in real time.
And then is reacting. That's cool.
Like, all of the reactions to these things they dropped in while they live recorded. So all of the jumps and like, shit, what's that, was all real, which I thought was so cool.
Yeah, that's really good. And it makes sense. I didn't even think about doing it that way. That's crazy. Yeah. The stuff that they are able to do in this is really just, and again, it's taking a lot of really typical stuff we've seen 100 times before, but being just different enough to be like, oh my God. And it, like, really getting to you. Like, because every time I've rewatched this a couple of times, and every time I rewatch it, it has the same impact as it did the first time. It's so good.
Yeah, and like, even down to the very first scare we get, when they're all kind of like, they're laughing it off, like you just, like, they're moaning at Gemma, saying like, "You're such a dick," like, she's gone now, and they have this moment where they all kind of chill for a minute.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the girl's name is, but her chair all of a sudden just like slides across the room.
Yeah.
Like, just that is like, and all of them go, oh no. It's one of the best crafted found footage movies ever.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's so well done. It comes across like, I would say, a higher budget found footage because of what they were able to accomplish and how good it looks. But it's kind of just goes to show you what you can do when you have the right resources and the right imagination, with a smaller budget, because that's one of the things that I've always loved about the subgenre in general, is that it's what you can do on a small budget, because found footage movies are almost always, we have bigger ones now, but the precedent is that it is a smaller budget film, lesser known people, smaller budgets, first time filmmakers. Like, this is, the subgenre to do that. And so this was probably, I think this was life-changing for him, for Judge Shepard, because it was so well received. When this first came out, everybody was talking about it because it came to streaming. I think, I don't remember. Did it come on Shudder?
Shudder original. Yeah.
And so it was like he got a Shutter deal, and like everybody was seeing this movie, and it was just a really big deal. Like everybody was talking about it.
And the cast are really good. Like every single one of the girls in this movie are really good actresses. The only one I would say is not that good is the guy friend.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's very much like, hey guys, guess we're doing this Zoom call. He almost feels like a producer they roped in to go, look, you're going to play the guy, and he's like, oh, okay, if I have to. But like all of the girls are brilliant. I think Gemma
Yeah.
is fantastic. She is the standout in this for me.
Yeah, she's great.
And she's not the main girl, but
No,
she
the
should
main
have been.
girl is the one who's getting them all together.
Yeah, I think like the whole reason for the Zoom call in 2024 is dumb and it doesn't work. In 2018, it's dumb and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But set in the middle of a pandemic, this happened day in, day out. It was how we communicated, and it works so well.
And then you get that one moment where Gemma has to go check. She's like, I've got to leave. She like goes out in her mask, and she's like talking to her through the phone while she's outside. Like there's clips like that too that just hit so close to home for so many people. Yeah.
I think it's time that I do pick the biggest plot hole in this movie, and it bugs me. So all of this is manifesting through the internet. The psychic says it at the beginning that the demon or the entities will be able to travel through the World Wide Web. But this entity is only ever in one place at one time. So it's with Gemma, then it's with Redina, then it's with whoever.
Yeah.
When it's not with you, turn your Wi-Fi off, turn your PC off. It can no longer reach you because it's traveling through the World Wide Web. Just disconnect from the call. It was, I only noticed it on this rewatch that she emphasizes it.
I think I always just assumed that once it made a connection, it could go. I didn't really think about it in terms of like that having to be established for it to work.
Yeah,
and it was already there.
And it didn't dawn on me until this time, and she was saying that it can basically manifest itself through the internet. It can travel through the Wi-Fi from place to place, so it can go from you to you. And she makes a really good job of explaining how that works.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, like these stories that do the demons and the internet, minus Buffy, because we all know that's just perfect and there's nothing wrong with it. They're really silly. Like the concept of like a demon or an entity traveling through the internet and doing all of these things is like, it's meant to be scary, but like very few films, there's a remake that covers this really, really well that we'll get to eventually. It's like this concept that these things can get through our technology is always can be very scary, but it very seldom is. It's very rare that you come across things like this that are done this well that just work. And it's like for this, like I never questioned it. Honestly, I never really thought about it like that. I just was like, yeah, makes sense. Got it. I just never thought about it.
And like I say, it was only on this rewatch. One that uses the internet that really doesn't work, it sits in the category of so bad it's good, is Countdown. Have you seen Countdown?
I have not, no.
So Countdown, you download an app on your phone, and it's a countdown.
When you die?
Tells you when you die.
Okay, I've heard of it then. Okay.
But all of the countdowns are like some people get like 30 years, but people who get like no time, like you see their life play out and then die.
Yeah.
And it's a real app. You could download this app, and I did download it.
What did it say?
I'm going to live to 2029, apparently. So not long.
5 years?
Yeah. I could do a lot in 5 years, and I don't believe in that stuff anyway. But I downloaded it. Lisa's so my other half, Lisa, she's very much she believes in all this kind of stuff. She's like, you don't mess with you don't understand. You don't look at like death clocks, like all that stuff. You leave alone. And I'm like, oh look, there's a death clock. Let's open it up. It says I'm gonna die in 2029. She's like, well, you can't do that. What if it's true? It's like, well, what if it is? Who cares? Like, I can't do anything about it.
There's nothing that you can do. Yeah.
It's like, one of the Final Destinations movies had a death clock on it as well on the
Yeah.
DVD.
Yeah.
And that death clock, I remember it because I remember when I watched it. That said I was going to die in 2021. And I'm still here. So, yeah, death clocks mean nothing.
Probably not real.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on the death clocks.
Yeah.
This movie's great, and it's
It is.
available on Shudder. I don't know whether I should say it or not in case it gets taken down, but there is a version with German subtitles, which is actually in English, full version on YouTube as well.
Oh, okay.
So it's superly readily available. Super
Yeah.
readily available.
Yeah.
Runtime on this is weird.
Because it's so short?
Yeah, I feel that like the Zoom call bit was great, and I loved the Zoom call bit.
Yeah.
But I would have loved a bit at the beginning following each of these characters, like because they're all going home from work or from wherever to go to this Zoom call. I would have loved to have had a actual shot movie, not in found footage, where it's a shot movie that follows them to their Zoom call.
Yeah. And see, I'm of the mind that found footage only works when it's short. Because when I watch found footage movies that are 2 hours long, I'm ready to jump off a bridge. Like, I'm like, this subgenre is not meant for long film. And there's so many of them, I will say, that go to like hour 30, hour 45, where if they had just been an hour, they would have been perfect. They would have been so much better. Because when you think you have to meet a certain runtime, you start filling in shit that doesn't need to be there or starts making sense or isn't scary anymore. And so I loved the quick, like, I forget the guy, I think it's Isaac Rodriguez does a lot that are like an hour long. Like he did Mr. Creep and The Unknown Visitor. And I don't know, Scott, he's done a shit ton of found footage movies.
Yeah, I said to you the other night, I watched Dybbuk Box, and that was Dybbuk, and that was an hour long, and that was really good. I liked that as
Yes,
well.
that one's really good. So I like for me, I'm usually pretty good with that. I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, movies are too long. I don't have the time for this. Like, so the quick hour, like I think it's abrupt enough because they end it in such a way where you're just like, and then it's done and you're just left with that moment. And I thought that was really good. I loved the timing on this. I think if they had added anything, especially if it wasn't in found footage, I would have been annoyed. So I'd have been like, no, now it can't be found footage, it has to be a hybrid.
I kind of like hybrids. I like things that
I don't
kind
mind
of
them.
flick between the two. But again, it needs to be done right. Like there needs to be reasoning for the flicking between the two.
Yes. Well, and I mean, I guess to your point, this one would have had that reasoning, but yeah, like I don't like I consider the Deep House hybrid because it had camera footage and then it had third person normal shots, so it was fine. But yeah, no, I think the runtime on this was perfect because it leaves you like suspended. You're just like, oh,
yeah,
and you don't get any more.
You don't. And again, like this movie is a one and done. You couldn't sequel this movie.
And you shouldn't. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Nothing wrong with that.
You could do this movie again with slightly different premise. I would take another Zoom call movie like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very clever. And I think based on what they achieved in this, you could build on that and do a lot more with it.
Yeah.
Like especially because even though this was only 2020, technology's come a long way since then.
It has. We've got you not using Zoom anymore, so we are advancing.
Yes, I now use StreamYard, which is fabulous.
Yes.
There's a bit of free advertising for StreamYard. We'll stick the logo up there for a second, and now it's gone. But yeah, like things have come a long way. But you've also got the next step, which is the virtual reality. So we've got virtual reality headsets in our house, and our kids will have conversations on the like avatars in like completely different worlds where they will interact. Like give me a VR movie. Give me a VR horror movie.
Were we talking about that recently, or was I talking to somebody else about one that's being made?
There is one that's being made at the moment that's being shot entirely in VR, and you play one of the characters within.
That's right. Okay. So I guess it must have been you and I that were talking about that.
Yeah, it's a slasher movie. Apparently you play one of the characters and you'll be able to free roam within the confines of the small little neighborhood that this slasher movie's taking place in and go and have a wander through houses and basically go and look for the killer while the movie plays out. Or you can just go where the movie wants you to go and just look around while everything plays out like you're there.
That's cool.
It's super cool, super immersive. Things are changing. I like it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's about it for this one. It's a great movie. It's a short movie, which is why you've got a slightly shorter episode, because we've got half an hour less of stuff to talk about.
That's true.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you go and follow Angel as well. Voices at the Mausoleum. There's a link to one of her episodes up next. So click on that and go and watch one of her episodes too. We're going to be back next time we're back is Christmas. We need a Christmas movie. Going to put you on the spot. Pick a Christmas horror.
Gremlins. Jaws 4.
Jaws 4. Jaws 4 is awesome. I've got a lot of love for that movie.
That's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie. It also has the best phoned in performance of Michael Caine in any movie. He's awesome. But we're not doing that.
You asked me. That's not fair.
We can't do that.
We're not doing that.
It needs to be very Christmassy. I'll let you have a think. I've got a couple of ideas, but
We already did Anna.
yeah, we done Anna and the Apocalypse. We could do what's the Christmas one with the Christmas robot Santa?
Oh, Christmas, Bloody Christmas.
Yeah, that's okay. I quite liked that.
I hated that movie. I didn't even finish it.
Okay, we won't do that then. Let's try again. We'll have a think. We'll let you know. In fact, drop in the comments. I mean, we'll have recorded it by the time this goes out. But hey, drop in the comments and we'll see if we've got.
Maybe your pick will get chosen anyway.
Yeah, maybe. I tell you what. Try and predict in the comments. See if you can predict what me and Angel are going to do.
Yeah, it will not be any of the Black Christmas remakes. So don't even bother.
No, it won't be the Black Christmas remakes. It won't be Gremlins. It won't be Jaws 4 as much as I'd like to do that movie. And it won't be Christmas Bloody Christmas either.
There's plenty. We'll find one.
Yeah, we'll find one. Thank you very much for watching. And we will catch you, next time at Christmas. See you all later.
Voices in my head.